we're gonna be
Oh,
on.
okay. Setting up the recording right now.
Oh, it worked.
Yes. I think let's try to do this one without technical challenges. Let's just.
If it does. So Zoom now has a, let's see if it'll do it. There we go.
Oh, get out. So it's like a virtual. So let me try this.
So you can go to your reactions and on the little up, like the little up, I don't know what that thing is called. It's play chime for raised hands, or you can click on recognize hand gestures. So that's like a, I guess a hand raise. I don't know how that works, but I do always get the heart to work for some reason.
Okay, let's see. Hello, Brian.
Hello. How you doing?
Okay, wait, let's see. I'm trying to see if so I have all my reactions. I don't find the one where it says recognize hand one.
So on the reactions, there's that little up.
Ellipses?
Little
that like plus
thing.
sign?
No, and it's right next to it. It's like on it. You have to hover over it. And then what is that little arrow that goes up? I don't know what that's called, but you can click on it.
I just put it in the chat.
It's the opposite of a drop down. Yeah, okay.
Mine doesn't have that. I wonder if you have a different version of Zoom or something.
Yeah, I don't have that either.
Oh.
No wonder
I love the heart one though, because it just like all the love.
Yeah, because it's so awesome. Hello, Donje. Yeah, I was
Hi,
trying to go like
Donje.
this and like do all the things and nothing was happening. So I was
Let's
like,
see. I haven't figured out all the hand gestures yet. So there's like a thumbs up, which I don't know. Do I need to like, no, that's not, that looks like I'm hitchhiking.
and I don't want to do this because I'm like, does that mean I'm giving my own like
you hold it.
meeting?
Oh, maybe like a,
Wait, let's see.
no.
No.
Oh, it takes a long time.
Oh,
Wait,
did you get it to work?
so
There
you
you
got it
go.
to work. You guys, when people watch this
Yeah,
back,
see the heart,
like,
I go
what is
down like
going
this.
Oh, that's cute.
Okay, but wait, all right, so wait, so you can get it, so you guys are getting it to work. This, I think it's a setting because I don't have that. Hey, Dax, we're trying out our
where's your heart,
virtual
Kendra?
reactions.
I feel like you don't get a lot
Look.
of times to just like play around with Zoom
Yeah.
features because
I don't have
there's
it either.
a ton of stuff in here you could do.
Can we do thumbs down? I don't want to do thumbs down. That's so negative.
I know that's what I was doing, and I was like, oh, great, I'm thumbs downing my own call. How fun is that?
Is it, how did you get the thumbs up to work?
I held it up for,
Okay,
it takes a while. It takes like that long.
So look, mine's still not doing it, which means I
actually
think
does
I
it?
have a
Oh.
different version of Zoom.
If you look at your reactions, it has a little timer to tell you if it's got it, but I can't do the heart. Oh,
Look
you
at the
did it!
little,
Hey, I want to try this too.
You got a
Dax did-
bubble.
Oh wait, Dax, yours is working. What the heck? Well, because you're on our work one, aren't you?
Maybe I have to upgrade.
No, I'm actually on the free trial. I got to get it integrated with work. But on the reactions, do you see the up arrow at the bottom of your screen?
No, I don't have an up arrow next to my reactions. That's a
Oh.
funny thing.
Huh.
It says recognize hand gestures.
Yeah, mine doesn't. Because you know, right away, can I use the middle?
Maybe you need to
finger when I
upgrade
see
your
that?
Zoom.
Yeah, but if Dax is on a free version, you would think that like I would have it, right? I don't know.
Are you on a Mac or PC? Maybe that has to do with it. I don't know.
I'm on a Mac. for
I'm
this
on a
one.
Mac.
Yeah.
Let's
Me
see if
too.
it recognizes a dog.
Oh,
Oh, the baby.
Not picking up anything yet.
Is that Schnoodle?
Very close. It's a Woodle. It's a
Oh,
mini
W.
poodle and Wheaten Terrier.
okay.
Yeah. So the face is like a Wheaten Terrier. The hair and body's more like a poodle.
A woodle. That is the
Woodle.
cutest name ever.
I love that.
All right. Say bye. Bye.
All right, so Brian, I'm gonna give you the option if you want to go first, or if you want us to do the meet and greets first. It's your decision, 'cause I feel like I don't allow enough time for my presenters.
It's up to you, really. I'm ready to go. So
Oh, you are? All right, so let's do that. And then I
Sure.
did put the polls, and then you can tell me when, like, I haven't done one yet, so let's see. Let me just click on it. It
today's all
shows
about
them.
the test environment.
It
So
is. All right, cool. So since this is being recorded and people are going to watch it back, we'll start with, hi everyone, I'm Tara Samuels. Welcome to our informal meet and greet / when we find some amazing people in the group who want to present on something they're passionate about. And today, Brian Rosenblatt from Goldfarb Properties is going to present on improv principles. And basically, I'm botching the title, but how to apply improv principles to like your everyday work, no matter what your role. And it's funny, I heard something recently about how, I don't know if it was an article, but how businesses are now considering adding as part of like their onboarding experience, the option for their team to go to an improv class to help them with public speaking and just kind of getting to know new teammates and all the kind of fun things. So I believe in that completely.
Ooh, all about that.
I will be at the mercy of you to start any of the polls. I was able to upload them. And can I just say kudos to the fact that you screen shared and we still have not had any issues.
Nice. It's a good luck day. There we go.
It's a good luck day. So Brian, so after this, we will go through some introductions and do the other half of the call like we normally do with the meet and greet. And this is being recorded. And Brian, is there anything I missed? And then just cue me when you want me to launch the first poll.
Sounds
I'm so
good.
excited.
Yeah, it'll be, I think, the second or third slide or first slide out, but you'll see. So,
Okay, cool.
thank you, Tara. My name is Brian Rosenblatt. I'm the marketing director with Goldfarb Properties, and been working in multifamily marketing for I don't even know, 6 years, 7 years, and been working in real estate over 10 years in different roles. And I haven't done it in a minute. I'll be completely honest. It's been about probably a year and a half since I've been either in an improv class or on a stage doing improv, but it's something I'm actually looking to get back into. And prepping this presentation really kind of inspired me to be like, yeah, I really enjoyed doing that. Why am I not doing this more? So I figured we'd talk a little bit about what I kind of gained from it, why I did it, and like I said, here, making it up, unscripted life lessons from improv comedy. So a lot of it's about work, but it's also just stuff I use in my everyday skills. So here's my whole time. So if we want to
All right. So
do this
I'm
now,
going
I have
to-
a couple questions just to get a sense of like the room and who knows about improv, who has done improv, all this stuff. So the first question is, how many people actually know what improv comedy is? How many people have been to an improv show? How many people, the third one should be, how many people have been in an improv show? So if you've ever performed or been thrown on stage in like a random environment, and how many people, if given the chance, would actually do improv, which I know is terrifying to some people. So I submitted my answers.
Your results are probably skewed because I don't see where I can answer it since it's the poll I created, unfortunately.
Okay.
Brian,
So
does improv include meetings that we attend at work?
It could, if there's like an element of improv. You know, every day is improv, honestly.
that's a good call out, Debbie.
Sure. I don't know if I see the poll results. So I
Oh,
might
can
have
you
to go
not?
back.
All right, let's see.
Or maybe there's a way to present it. That's the
Okay, so I see them coming in. Let me see. Would you like me to just share the results of the first one to start?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so out of the 14 of us here, 13 actually know what improv comedy
Nice.
is. One person does not. You want me to tell you the second one?
Sure.
Okay, so same results for how many have been to an improv show. So
Ooh.
13 out of 14 have been. So vast majority here has
That's
been
pretty good
to an
rate.
improv show. And I am a yes to both of those as well.
Nice.
But only 36% of the group has actually been in an improv show, which that number is a little high to me for this group. That's actually kind of cool.
That's pretty surprising.
And then the last one, the results are 71%, if given the choice, would be in an
Wow.
improv show.
That I'm shocked by, because I feel like this is some people's worst fear in the world, of being thrown on a stage and just having no script or whatever. So for the one person who doesn't know what improv is, and for everyone else, I figured I'd go with like a little, well, here's about me first. Like I said, I worked in marketing in different capacities. I actually started in the staffing and recruiting industry. So I worked for large temp agencies and staffing agencies, helping their marketing arm. And then I jumped into real estate, worked with Debbie, worked with Keighla. And outside of work, I love music. I recently moved to the suburbs, so I'm getting adjusted to suburb life after living in the city for years and love to travel. So, but enough about me. Let's get into improv stuff. So I'm going to give a very high level 2-minute history of what improv comedy is and kind of the background of like the theatrical arts. So improv in some form has been around for thousands and thousands of years. In ancient Rome, which I know there's a whole TikTok trend about ancient Rome, and now here I am talking about ancient Rome. It was actually a form of comedy where they would have stock characters and people would basically have masks, and they had like 4 different archetypes, and they would change the performance depending on where they were performing. So if they were performing for kings and bureaucrats, it would be a very different performance than if they were performing for kind of commoners, everyday people like me. And they would really tailor the act and tailor the level of comedy and tailor kind of the source material, if you will, to the audience. And millions of years later, thousands of years later, in Italy, then in like the 1500s, 1600s, there's something called, I'm going to butcher this, but commedia dell'arte. And it became a really popular art form where it was also similar to stock characters. And some of these guys down here, these are features like the Harlequin, and there was always like a doctor type character who was very wise. And there was always usually like an old man character that they would do, and they would just put on performances and put on shows where they would utilize these characters and kind of make things up on the fly. And this was like a hugely popular form of entertainment. And it was actually kind of cool because compared to when you think of like Shakespeare dramas, women were actually involved and they got to play their own parts and they got to perform as women, which is very different from other theatrical arts where women were not allowed on stage, which is crazy to think, and men would play those parts. So improv was kind of boundary breaking in some ways, even back in the day. And then in the early 19th century, this lady over here, Viola Spolin, is kind of considered the founder or one of the originators of modern improv comedy. She actually got her start working in settlement houses in Chicago. So she worked with immigrants and she worked with a lot of underserved communities. And she realized that a great way to get children and younger adolescents involved in the community and sort of socializing more was by doing improv. So she had a book of improv exercises and different ways of fostering kind of creativity, fostering play. And she realized that, wow, this is a great way to help people socialize. So what we think of as modern improv, when we think of like UCB or Second City, this all came out of this lady. And it wasn't meant really to be entertainment at all. It was really for a social purpose. So I love that idea. And I love that there's a inherent sense of play in all of this, that it all stemmed from that. So there's a quick history. So why I did it, I really wanted to try something new that I'd never tried before. I like the challenge of just getting on a stage and just seeing kind of what happens. I used it as an escape from work. I used it as kind of a playful environment, and I learned some unique skills and obviously made new friends. And probably my favorite part of this is kind of the playful element of it. And there was actually, I think it was a New York Times or New York Magazine article about this recently, how us as adults, there's not really a concept of just playtime. When we get together with friends, or if you're meeting with other adults, it's always very set in stone. We're going to go out to a restaurant. We're going to have this very kind of rigid idea of what socializing can be. And it's very rare that we just hang out, and not even just hang out, but just literally play, either do board games or just act silly together. And that's kind of the big separator for me between adult friendships and childhood friendships, is this element of just fun and relaxing and just being kind of crazy. I know Keighla and I talk about this at work a lot sometimes. After lunch, we call it like wackadoodle hour. where you just need to go crazy because you've been sitting at a desk for so long and you want to just like break free, run around the block. And I think that is 100% undervalued. And I think every job should have at least 20 minutes of wackadoodle time to just bounce off and kind of like reign free and be creative. And you never know what could happen because that's when your best ideas are going to come out. And it's 100% true. As you do improv classes and as you kind of change your mind and adapt your mind to this more creative kind of spontaneous way of thinking, you will think of things that you never thought of before. And it's cool. The ideas you think of from work or for outside of work, just from getting on a stage and kind of performing and not knowing what's going to happen. So here are some of the things that I've learned specifically from doing improv. So the first thing, if anyone knows, when you get into an improv class is they teach you yes and the concept of yes and is not only just being positive and agreeing, but it's that you're always going to want to build upon whatever the person before you said or did. You're never going to negate it. If someone says we are on Mars, then we are on Mars. You're not going to say, no, we're on a playground or no, we're in a school. It's going to be, okay, we are on Mars. And also, I can't believe that the aliens just let us eat all that tuna or whatever weird thing that you're going to say out of your mouth. And you'd be shocked to hear the things that will come out of your mouth, just like me right now, because you just don't know. And they kind of teach you in these classes to just refocus your brain to not pay attention to what's going to come out and just let it kind of flow. And what I like about this specifically is this kind of like positive thinking and positive framework is very antithetical to how I think in reality. I'm a super snarky person. I consider myself to be kind of sarcastic, and I'm very big into problem solving and challenges, but my nature is definitely more cynical. And this directly challenges everything about the way I would normally think. It forces me to be positive. It forces me to kind of refocus and highlight this positive nature rather than negative. And there's still a way I can be myself and kind of challenge things and be anti-authoritarian in my ways while having fun with it and building a scene together. So for me specifically, it was super helpful just to have that kind of element of positivity and thinking of what can I do to refocus the scene? What can I do to make sure we're on the right track and not too negative? And I love this, and I bring this to work every day because when you are stuck with an environment that is a lot of competing teams or a lot of people that don't necessarily work together, I try to think of these like principles of like, we're all on a team together. How do I be open to other people's ideas? Even if I think it's a silly idea, even if I think it is not the best thing, how do I at least say yes and to that and try to focus in a way or refocus in a way that we can do this or it works. It also helps me by just thinking of how can I make the idea that was presented to me, or if I have an idea for them, how do I present it in a way that is positive and in a way that I always want someone to think that my idea was their idea, because I love doing that. It's a nice way to like subtly psychologically kind of implant what you think in their heads. So I just don't think we always think about like how do we make everyone look good at the same time. And that's really the goal of any scene in improv is the whole team works together. Everybody has to be on the same playing level, and you could still have different statuses in a scene. You could have someone who's a king and a peasant, or whatever different status is, or a family dynamic. You could still have all of that, but the players can be on an even playing ground where no one's like stealing the scene and taking advantage of. So next thing is kind of what I call focus or flop. And there's another thing you very quickly learn when you get into a class and when you're on stage is that you have to pay attention. There's no option not to pay attention in improv, because if you don't, and if you zone out for even a split second, you're just going to be totally lost. And I don't think we practice this often, especially me. This is another way that's against my nature because I bounce around a lot. My head's always in a million places. And when I got on a stage and when I was in a class, I knew I have to like laser focus on A, whoever's talking, B, whatever movement is going around around me. Even little nuanced things. So if someone makes a weird gesture, or if someone like goes to pick up something, you have to be kind of all inclusive and hyper focused on everything. So some of the exercises you do, which are kind of weird when you get into an improv class, is an eye contact exercise where you literally just stay in a room and people pair up and you practice just for a minute long or 2 minutes long or even longer, just staring at each other. And you just stand in a room, and this is like a classic acting exercise where you just stare at each other, eye contact, and just see what happens. And most people inevitably ended up cracking up for the first 30 seconds because you just didn't know what to do except laugh, because how often do you just stare at someone? But eventually when you get comfortable with yourself, you kind of take a breath and you focus and you just sit and you relax and you just notice things about them. You kind of center yourself, and it's almost a very meditative exercise to just be okay with silence and just sit in the moment. And that's another huge thing that's super important, is being okay with the silence, being okay with just living in a space, breathing in a space, and something will come about it. And I guarantee you, within a minute or two, something funny is going to happen, because inevitably it will. Other kind of active exercises around this are active listening exercises, where someone will state a monologue or a sentence or a couple sentences, and you have to repeat word for word exactly what they said. And this is a huge challenge for me. It's still a huge challenge for me. It's why I'm not good at memorizing lines, if I ever was to do like serious stage acting. But it's incredibly difficult to just repeat back to me exactly what I just said. So it's a good way to bring this kind of into a work environment and really focus in when you're in a meeting, or if you're talking to someone, to actually listen wholeheartedly and pay attention, because I don't think we're always doing that. I think we're always kind of distracted in our ways. So this was a huge kind of advantage for me to learn how to focus myself, pay attention, and just rely on some of these principles. I also, as part of this, some of this is the concept of like first thought, best thought. Whatever pops into your head, the first thought that you're going to say, that's going to be it. That's your best thing. Whether it's in a scene or in a meeting. And it's not always true. I know it's not, but it's having the conviction and having that confidence to just be like, yeah, I said it. I messed up. That's okay. I'm going to go through with it. And someone might not know that you messed up. Someone might not know that it wasn't what you meant to say, but it's kind of what's going to happen out of it. Other parts of this, like sincere connection, is knowing that you might get onto a team or you might be in a class with people that you really connect with. And then other times you will 100% have a class where you just don't get along with the people. There's no chemistry, no connection, and understanding that that's totally okay. And there's some kind of innate natural reason why some of us get along and some of us don't. And you can still work with people and make a great scene out of it. But other people, you might know that, hey, I'm not going to join a team with them, but I can enjoy them and watch them and be an amazing performer, or enjoy their performances, but I don't want to necessarily perform with them. Some more lessons. So this one's a little bit more abstract. I'm calling it making the most of the game. So certain improv schools are a little bit more about this than others. So I trained at the People's Improv Theater and the Magnet Theater. And I know UCB, Upright Citizens Brigade, is really, really into this concept of the game. And it's basically the first unusual thing to happen in a scene and how it goes on to define the scene. Or it's kind of like a pattern that's always happening in the scene. And it's like the joke that gets hammered down over and over and over. So if you think of like an SNL sketch, there's always something that they're either going to repeat, or character action, or something that, like, you know when the joke is going to land, you know already when it's going to come up. And a lot of people deconstructed scenes this way, and a big criticism from a lot of improv teachers or coaches will be like, there's no game in the scene. Where's the kind of pattern or the rhythm? And you don't necessarily have to have it, but I think scenes are a little bit more exciting and interesting when you do, because everyone's kind of in on the joke and everyone kind of like knows what to expect. So what I think of this in relates to work is that I don't always think of it this way, but I kind of think of work sometimes as a game. And it's like a pattern to be unlocked. And every single company, every single different position has kind of different rules and norms and rhythms and patterns that you can kind of unlock, and you see it in different places in different ways. So the job I'm at now is very, very different from jobs I've had before, because kind of the rituals are different, and how they go about everyday work is just different. So when you almost gamify work and you think of it like this kind of like challenge of what are the things are repeated here that I know is going to land versus what's not, that's how I found success at work. So I know the things that my boss likes, I know the things that he doesn't care about, and I'm going to focus on the ones that he does care about. And it sounds kind of silly when you put it that way, but when you think of it as more of like a strategic board game type environment, and with this element of fun, I think it makes work kind of a unique challenge that you kind of want to unlock. So it makes coming here a little bit easier. It makes coming like into an environment that's challenging, wherever it is, even outside of work, a little bit more fun when you think of it like kind of a gamified environment. Next thing is all about packed houses and empty seats. So if you're doing improv comedy anywhere, unless you are on a main stage and you're like the headliners of Whose Line Is It Anyway, I guarantee you will have shows that you do where there will be no one in the audience, literally no one there. Maybe 1-2 people, or maybe it'll be just like your husband or your friend or your coworker that you convinced to come to this show. And other times you will have shows where it's completely packed house, wall-to-wall people, and it's great. But in each of those environments, there's kind of different stressors. So when you see the full house, you're worried about like, is this gonna land? I hope I didn't overpromise. When you see empty seats, you're like, oh my God, I messed up the marketing. Oh my God, I didn't advertise this. Oh my God, no one wants to see me. But it's kind of it's an interesting thing to put yourself out there and try to kind of hype yourself up, generate interest, and see what happens for those different environments. And I guarantee you that the best shows I've ever been in, or what felt like the best and the most fun and the silliest and the most successful, were usually in an audience that was like 5 people. And that's one of the special things about improv. It'll never happen again. No one will ever see it again. Once in a while, people tape improv shows, but if you watch like a recorded version of an improv show, it's never the same as being there live, because you feel like the audience energy, you feel just how palpable it is, and you kind of see what's going on, whereas like the tape version just doesn't land. So it reminds me to show up every day, keep at it, even if the audience is 0, even if things flop. And it's kind of a good motivator to always be present and be ready to pivot at any time, because you never really know. I've also had shows where people, like it was a big festival environment, and one show got out late, and then in the middle of your set, like tons of people just rushed in. So you got to be prepared for that. And there's kind of like no mistakes in improv. There's no things that could go terribly wrong. I mean, things go wrong, but you make the most of it. So, and when you get comfortable with this like public speaking and public presentation, I think you get better at it. So the more you practice, the more you perform for big audiences, small audiences, you know how to adapt to that. And my last kind of lesson is embracing that fear, the failure, and the fortune. So this happened all the time in improv, where people mess up or what they think messed up. And that's always, I guarantee you, the best part. Because when people mess up or say something they didn't mean to say or break character, that's honestly where the humor comes out of everything. And when people can latch onto it, that's where the show really succeeds. So it's almost like waiting for someone to mess up or waiting for someone to do something silly, and kind of embracing the messiness of it all, which is the best part. For people who like do this all the time and are super professional at it, who know exactly what to hit and what's going to make people laugh, it almost sometimes gets a little boring, because not that it's pre-rehearsed, because it's not, but they know exactly the rhythms and what to expect. But for younger improvisers or people who are trying this for a first time, I guarantee you some of those like level 1, level 2 classes will be even funnier than like big name comedians who are trying this out for a living, basically. So I love this. I kind of take this mindset as a marketer, and especially in our industry, where you have to have a growth mindset and you have to have an environment where they not only embrace mistakes, but they actually foster mistakes. Certain things are inevitably going to fail. Certain trials are inevitably going to fail. But if you don't try those things, you're not going to know when it does land. So I like this. I like trying new things all the time. I like kind of like putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation and seeing what happens out of that. And it's scary, but there's kind of no better test environment than an improv class or an improv workshop to just try it out, try new things, try a new accent, try a new voice, try a new character, and kind of see where it goes from there. I don't know the time. I don't have a timer on my thing, so.
We are at a half hour, but you're
perfect.
good. Yeah.
So I hope this kind of inspired you a little bit to do a couple things. So here's some suggestions from me: either attend a local improv show or a virtual improv show. I personally don't love virtual improv shows. I think it kind of ruins the magic of it, but in person, it's amazing. There's some books like Truth and Comedy, which is a big improv book, and Getting to Yes And, which kind of talk about the principles of improv and some of the games. If you want, try an improv class or workshop. There's tons of them here in New York, but I know every city, even small cities, small neighborhoods, sometimes have like local community theaters that do this. If you can convince your work to do like an improv workshop as a team building exercise, it's amazing. You'll be surprised of just like the creativity and just having that sense of play at work that we don't always have. I would challenge you to host kind of like a play night with friends. So instead of doing a restaurant or a date night or something like that we always do, try just doing like an improv game night and get some friends together, get a book of just improv exercises and seeing what happens. It sounds weird, but I guarantee you that people will have a lot of fun and it'll be something different that you've probably never done before. And my final point is just facing the fear and abandoning your preparation for once, and just not for a huge important meeting maybe, but for something more spontaneous or a one-on-one, is just not going in with an agenda and just seeing where either the conversation takes you or seeing what happens when you don't prepare for once, because not everything has to be fully prepared. You'd be surprised when you just kind of let your gut go for it and see what kind of happens. So that's what I had prepared for today. I know I kind of rushed through it, but
This was really good, Brian. Thank you so
you.
much for putting in all that time. I have a few takeaways I want to share with you. Well, first of all, the wackadoodle thing, 20 minutes away. Like
That's my favorite thing of
actually
all.
really fun. Have you guys trademarked that yet? Right.
I want to, and if I have my own company, I'm going to mandate it. So yeah.
Yeah, that is so good. Wait, Michelle, before you run, do you want to should we do a big group picture, or do you, oh, she's got to go. All right, everyone go off camera for a second. Oh, she's there. Okay, cool. We're gonna take one big group picture really quick. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, sorry, Michelle, now go. I wanted to share a story with you, Brian, because like obviously improv, you can help, like you talked about the benefits, but I love like the piece about how like the walls are down, you can have team collaboration, it helps like boost your confidence, and then just really, I think, get to know like a true person. And
Yep.
It's funny, we were in New York, Dax and Tyler, who part of my team, they're on this call. One of the things we did recently which I think this falls into improv, is we recorded a song together at a recording studio in New York as a team building activity.
That's amazing.
And if you really want to get to know somebody and how they think and just like their creative spirit and passion, and really like let down your guard, that is really fun. Although I think the next one we should do is definitely some sort of an improv show. So I thought what would be cool is, as way of doing our introductions today, we can do kind of an improv thing, but I want to recognize 2 people who've never been on our calls before to just make sure they have an opportunity to introduce themselves. But before I do that, does anyone have any specific questions for Brian that they want to ask before we go into intros? This is really good though. No questions? All right. Well then, let me kick it to Brian with a T at the end. Brian, you are somewhat new to the group. I know this is your first call, so we typically on these informal meet and greets, obviously just let people know who you are, where you work, how long you've been in the industry. And since you're new, let everyone know if you're looking for a mentor or if you're looking to be a mentee, or if you're looking to be a mentor or be a mentee or both. And anything else you want to share about yourself.
Yeah, well, hello everyone. My name is Brian. I'm the co-founder of Visibly. We're a prop tech startup that makes budgeting software and also helps with financial forecasting for multifamily customers. My background, I spent about 10 years in the multifamily industry working for an owner-managed portfolio called Steadfast. That sold and everyone went their separate ways, and I started a software company. I did revenue management. I was a director of revenue management, did all the forecasts and projections in Excel, and then decided to start a software company that helped automate, that component. So, been deep in entrepreneurship, startup life, trying to sell our software and kind of be on the vendor side, from being an operator for so many different years. Love multifamily real estate. I think, interested in just kind of joining the group, making new connections. Great presentation here, Brian. I thought it was really applicable, to work life. It makes me think about the culture that we want to set at our company, because we're all remote and sometimes can be a little bit challenging to do that, but really appreciate it. I think what you mentioned, that sometimes it's important to really focus on the team members and kind of those nuanced interactions, because I think that can really leave a lasting impact, on work culture. So thanks for sharing your presentation and thanks for having me on the group.
What about mentor, mentee, or both, just to let everybody know what you're looking for?
Yeah, I can do both, mentor, mentee. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then Mr. Ron Harrington, I love seeing your face. I know you joined a few weeks ago, but I think this is your first call, so I'm so excited to see you on here.
It is my first call. Welcome. So I've been in multifamily for about 9 years now. I started in Sacramento, California, and I live in Indiana now as of Sunday. I just started a new job on Monday. So I'm the new training manager for the West Coast of Haven Residential. They're based out in Louisville. So I was a little late because we were doing some leasing curriculum, Brian, which is really funny because I said in my call that I think the 90-day leasing curriculum should be an improv class, and where we teach leasing agents how to improv, because as you all know, those objections that are out of left field that catch you off guard, you got to be quick on your feet. So it's something that we're incorporating into as well. And I am open to both now that I have more time in my hand on my free time. Well, I shouldn't say more time, because the learning department at Haven is new. They just got a VP 60 days ago, and our team just all started this week. So lots to dive in, but always will make time.
Can you share, to give you a little plug on Rooms with Ronald, can you tell everybody what you're doing on LinkedIn? This is such a fun little experiment that you're doing.
Yeah, so this year I decided I wanted to shop 100 different apartment communities across the nation because I travel a lot. And I found myself this was a January 1 goal, and it was March and I hadn't started yet. And I was how am I going to hold myself accountable? So I was I'm just going to make a quick monthly video series called Rooms with Ronald, where I talk about the experiences along the way. So as of yesterday, the September episode went up, and I am 70 shops in. And my goal is at the end of the year to compile all the data and present some sessions on the state of leasing and kind of talk about what I'm experiencing, what's going on. And then as I was shopping and looking at my data, I realized that I've double shopped some management companies. So it's probably going to be more than 100 now, because I want to shop 100 different property management companies. So that way there's not a heavy emphasis on one or the other. And I just make a fun video, 10 minutes, talk about what I see, give some tips, and things like that.
I think that's fabulous. I've got to get caught, go to class and look at all of your stuff that's archived, because I feel like there's so much that we can learn, especially to new folks that are new to multifamily who've never worked on site. I think your experiment is going to be really a helpful tool. So that's awesome. And congrats on the new job.
Yeah.
So excited. Okay, so here's what I want to do. We're gonna basically start like a story. And I'll say one sentence and I'll pass it to someone, and then you say the next sentence. So we're gonna improv a story, and this is gonna be us at, let's say, Apartmentalize. So we're at Apartmentalize and we're just sitting there roaming. We run into people, and I'm gonna pick someone to start after me, and then that person, you pick someone, and we'll just keep going, so on and so on. So just come up with one sentence, and we're going to create just like an improv funny story and see what at the end what we've done. What we've done. So okay, so I'm going to start by saying I'm going to go up to Donje, because this is what I feel like I would do in real life, and I'd be like, Donje, did you hear that our next speaker, who's going to be talking about improv, does not like peanut butter? Your turn.
My gut reaction, we cannot be friends.
All right, pick someone else. Or is that your sentence?
Kristi, yes.
Okay.
Well, Donje, what is wrong with you? Because we are friends with everybody and we don't need peanut butter. We just need to go have drinks at the big party tonight.
Who are you picking, Kristi?
I'm gonna pick Brian.
I heard that the big sponsor of Apartmentalize is Jiffy peanut butter, so I don't know how they're gonna handle that. And I'll pick Debbie.
Well, I guess that's more peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for me. I will go to Keighla.
This is gonna be really hard for me too, because I also hate peanut butter.
Somebody get her off this call.
And I'll pick Ronald.
Well, the signature drink is a peanut butter martini, so I guess you're gonna be drinking water. And I'm gonna pick Kendra.
Well, I love peanut butter, and unfortunately, I don't think peanut butter goes in alcohol. Sorry. And let's go with Maria.
I love peanut butter, and I'm so excited because all the appetizers have peanut butter as an ingredient. It's going to give me even more energy than usual.
Oh my God, my face hurts, you guys.
And I am going to pick Dalton.
Yes, and with all that energy, I can't wait to meet all you wonderful people at NAA. And I will pick Dax.
It really doesn't matter who likes peanut butter and who doesn't, because me and the other people who don't, since I don't, we're gonna head across the street and go to Hardee's. What about you, Tyler?
Thank God you said that. I'm definitely allergic to peanuts and peanut butter. So I was going to say they either better have paramedics on site or I'm joining you at Hardee's. And I'm picking Mauri.
Well, I heard that there's a drink with peanut butter. I don't necessarily like it, but I like a drink, so I might go for it. What do you think, Lauren?
I just want to know if they like coffee. Because we're going to need some coffee after these drinks tonight. In the morning, we'll need coffee after all these peanut butter drinks. I think everyone's gone. Lynn?
Yeah, Lynn hasn't gone.
I love coffee. A couple of things about it makes me think of my childhood, along with hanging out at Hardee's after my middle school cheer practice. So I'm down for the peanut butter and the coffee and Hardee's. Janet?
Janet's driving and she can't talk.
She's unmuted. All right, let's go. Lala, are you driving?
Yes, I am, but I'm eating too. I'm actually eating peanut butter. I'm sorry, I can talk. So I love Hardee's. Their burgers don't taste the same, but I love peanut butter. Specifically, have you tried the Playables with peanut butter, the Pure Vita bowl?
I have no
And
idea
I'll
what any
pick
of that is.
the Pure Vita from Playables. It has peanut butter in it. I'll pick Kristi. Have you gone? You're the first face that I see.
Yeah, I did. I think
Okay.
Did Thomas
Debbie.
go?
Yeah, Thomas, did you go?
Thomas has not gone. And I just have one burning question. Is it creamy or crunchy? Because
I
that
was
makes a world of
waiting.
difference with peanut butter.
I was waiting for somebody to do that.
Mine is crunchy. It has granola mixed in with it.
Latavia,
my
we can have
God.
lunch together.
That is so funny. All right, I think everyone went, right?
I think I need to go.
Oh, did you not go, Brian? Okay, you go. Sorry.
I'm ready for apartments.com to give away the Tesla full of peanut butter.
I can see them doing that. 100%.
And can I just say that Jiffy is a popcorn, but Jif is a
Oh,
peanut
Jif.
butter?
Yeah, that's it.
I only know because that's my favorite peanut butter on the planet. Tyler gifted it to me since he got the job. Even though he's allergic, he took a risk and bought me a bar of Jif. Just kidding.
Put my life on the line for this.
Masked up, EpiPens ready.
That's right. That was super fun. Does anyone want to do one more on another topic? I think this is so funny. Like literally my face hurts. Anyone? Anyone? Yeah. Are we up for another one? All right, let's do a leasing one. All right, let's do this. Ronald, we're gonna make this as like a tribute to you with your rooms at Ronald. All right, so how about you kick it off and you set the scene that you just walked into a leasing community and you can make it wherever you want.
And we are in Atlanta at a high-rise property. I've just walked into the leasing office. The first thing I'm going to say is, are you going to help me or not? And I'm going to pick Tyler.
And the leasing agent pulls off her mask and it's the manager. Pick Tara.
You guys, I can't even stop. This is what would happen to me on an improv stage. And I would say I just had an operation and I'm actually the maintenance manager, John. I'm picking Mauri because he's giving me a look of like, what? Oh, he's muted.
And the prospect looks at me confused, and the only thing I can tell him is I'm the maintenance manager because my trash rotation was not applied today, so I don't have my trash truck to do the trash. I'm picking Brian.
So the maintenance manager asks the person who stopped in the leasing office, can you just take out the trash for me? Would you mind doing that? Do me a favor. And Donje, what's next?
The prospect replies, no, who's going to show me this apartment? I am ready to rent. Listen, I forgot to say who. Brian.
And then the prospect asked, can you tell me about your pet policy? Do you guys let alligators in the apartments? Oh, Kristi.
But the maintenance person said, if you take out the trash, I'll let you bring your alligator. And I'll pick Kendra.
And then the manager says, did you know that we offer a great pet sitting and pet walking service? And let's go with Thomas.
So as the prospect, I'm going to ask you, does that mean I can let my alligator off leash in the pool? And I'm gonna kick it over to Debbie.
As the maintenance manager, I will say, you know what? We do have alligator swim time. No problem. It's perfect. This seems like the perfect home for you. And I'm going to send it off to Dax.
That's when myself, the owner of the property, comes in to answer all the questions. 1, no alligators, and 2, we have some brand new services such as smart home touring, so you don't need to speak to us, and also trash butler, so no one's taking out the trash. I don't know who else hasn't gone yet.
Keighla, I don't think Keighla's gone.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll go. So I'm the prospect and I say, well, then what am I supposed to do with my pet alligator?
I think we have Lynn and Lala and Maria left, right? And I'm losing track.
Yeah. And I say, as the future resident or prospect, I'm like, well, he is my comfort alligator, so I will be bringing him. I have papers from an internet doctor.
Oh, I was waiting for that one.
Latavia.
Look, I was going to say that, but I was going to also add that as the prospect, I forgot to tell you that I have an emotional support tiger.
Oh my God. Who's left? Did we catch everyone or did we miss Maria? Yeah, go ahead.
And I'm the manager and I'm going to say, you know what? I think we're going to start a petting zoo.
Auxiliary income right there. Charge everybody $2 to see them.
And I'm going to say that the cool thing about the petting zoo at night is that ADT multifamily has smart light technology that will go on at certain times of the day and evening to make sure your residents feel safe from the alligator that's running around in the pool with no leash. So there you go.
And then they end it with, well, let me know if you have any questions. Have a great day.
With no follow-up. No, and by the way, no guest card was done. There was nothing, right? Yeah. You don't even know our name. That's awesome.
You can go apply on the website.
Yeah. So let's use the last few minutes for open forum questions, any highlights of your week, conferences coming up. Anyone going to NAA Cultivate with me next week? No one? Dang. How about who on this call is going to OpTech? Oh my gosh, what's going on here? Yep, Tyler's going to FAA. Who else is going to FAA?
Yeah, some of the ones that I have, I've got Dallas next week, multifamily executive. Not sure if anyone's going to be there. UpTech, I think in November, we're going to have a booth. So hope to see you guys there. If you guys can stop by, we're at the startup innovation area. And then in December, we've got multifamily innovations in Summit, I think in Phoenix. So if you guys go to that, we'd love to meet you in person.
That's really cool. Kristi, what are you trying to do for your dinner at FAA?
I don't know. I don't know where yet, but I kind of did this at NAA where it's not anything that's really sponsored by anybody. So it's just anyone who's going to be there and doesn't have plans, or if you're not really well connected in the industry yet, if you're someone who's newer, it's just anyone can come. We did this at NAA. I don't think Drew Hudson's on the call today, but we had so much fun and just, it's kind of like this in person. So
It was fun, Kristi. I went to your event and it was a blast.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. It was so fun. And so many people texted the next day and just said, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how much I needed that. And I don't think it was because it was anything, not conference related, but it was just sort of some downtime with good people. It was a smaller group. And so if anyone's going to be in Orlando in the next, what is that, 2 weeks out? Gosh, it's going to be October, you guys. Yeah, just DM me or find me on LinkedIn and I'll get you all the information. It won't be anything big. It's not going to be a stay out until, 12 or 1 o'clock party kind of thing. Just
Kristi, you're the party animal though, so that shocks me.
I am not. But you know what? I was going to tell you, this is so funny. I mean, it's a work environment, but I have this bad moms club that I like lead with all my mom friends. And last weekend we were playing a game poolside, and it was literally had these challenges, and I had to make up a rap about the person to my left. So talk about improv and trying
That's
to, I mean,
amazing.
I like rap music, but I am not a rapper by any means. And that's really hard.
That's the
I feel like
hardest.
that was my version of improv last weekend.
So that's one whole thing I didn't even mention. So I did like normal style traditional comedy improv, and then I also did musical improv, which was like a whole separate, you're basically making musicals on the spot. And that's like the real gems come from that. It's a
Yeah,
lot of
I
fun.
mean, it does help if you're like a White Claw or two in. It makes
Yep.
it a little easier, I will say. But yeah, so if you don't want to do it, go to the improv club. Just get your friends together and try to make up raps about each other.
Your liquid courage, right, Kristi?
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I do all the time. In my spare time, I just make up songs nonstop around the clock.
Do you actually record them?
I should. There's some quality jams in there.
I will send you guys the link to listen to our song that me, Dax, and Tyler, and a couple of our other team members were on, because it's pretty legit. And it is a rap.
Nice.
Yes. And I have a few nicknames in the song, but you'll be able to probably figure out who Tyler is and who Dax is on the thing. It's pretty fun.
Was this at like a particular studio you went to record this, or?
Yeah, what the heck was the name of that studio? It was actually, the company that put it on is called Flow, FLO Social. And if you look them up, they are amazing. The studio was pretty historic. I don't remember the name of it, but it
I
was
think it was
where,
called Quad Records or something in
that's right.
Times
This
Square.
looks cool.
Yeah, it's right in Times Square. It was the best team bonding event I think I'll have ever done. And I thought when we first came in that we were going to be like covering a famous artist's song, like going in there, like recording our own like Coldplay or Taylor Swift or something. But they're like, oh no, here's a pad, a paper, and a pen, and we're going to record your own ADT company branded song. And we were like, what? So I think the hardest challenge for me was keeping it G-rated so that it could be shared within the company. And we did it. And it was funny, and we were able to tie our entire value prop and our offerings into the song. And then they played it on our corporate, like one of our corporate quarterly meetings. But Tyler is in the background yelling like really funny things. Like my favorite one that he yells is "Let's go golfing," which has nothing to do with the song, but it's hilarious how they mixed it in. So I will send you guys hopefully it'll send. If it's it should be emailable, and you guys are going to get a good laugh. And I'll send you the lyrics for it too, so that you can kind of follow along.
I stole all my ad libs from DJ Khaled, to be candid. So if you recognize them, that's why.
They're really funny. Does anyone have anything else before? This was actually really fun. Brian, thanks again for putting the time and the effort to put this together for everyone. I think this was good. Would you want to share your presentation that I can include to the group for the group?
Sure. Happy to send it.
Okay, cool.
Hey, Tom, it's Lala. I have something for Brian.
Yeah, go for it.
Brian, thank you so much for that. I thought it was so good, only because I have, involuntarily participated in improv because I went to the Laughing Skull comedy show, which was amazing. I would definitely go a million times again. It's so funny because it's people come out there and it's like they're just being, themselves. They don't have scripts. This one lady, she ended up, sorry, but she peed on herself on stage.
That's
but
amazing.
she was drunk and she started yelling out. She was so upset about her friend at COVID, and her friend had COVID and someone had died in the hospital, and her friend had to take care of all these people. So she blamed all of us, and then she ended up peeing. But it was funny. I would definitely go back again. And my brother he was there, so I was going to see him, but he ended up calling me up on stage. So it was definitely fun. So thank you for that, Brian. I've done it before, and I would definitely 10 out of 10 10 out of 10 recommend. Laughing Skull in Atlanta. If you have not gone, please go. That lady probably is still out there because she sits out front and drinks a lot. So she's probably going to be there again.
Maybe this is like a routine thing that she does.
It has to be because she sat by me and I think that she had already probably used the bathroom from drinking, but I was like, okay, I was not expecting for her to be on stage. And when she got out there and started yelling at us because of her friend having to work at the hospital during COVID, it was insane. But I loved every minute of it.
Yeah, Kristi, I just saw your comment. Maybe we need to, like, for the next NAA, which will be in Philly, we got to find some sort of an improv, like some sort of a comedy show. I think would be
That would be
Yeah.
great.
That would be
A
fun.
show or a class workshop. I mean, there's tons of these. I would do that in a flash.
Hey, here's a quick tip for you guys. I just booked our hotels this week, and there are hotels within walking distance of the convention center. So if anyone's going to NAA next year, go grab your hotel rooms.
You
So
booked it already?
Yeah. So I did not book in the room block. You can just find a hotel and you can just book outside the room block. The pricing was actually cheaper.
Where did you end up booking, if you don't mind
We're
telling
at it's a Hilton brand. I think it's a Garden Inn. Let me see here.
me? Is it right in the
It's
center?
actually the Home 2 Suites by Hilton. It's Philly. It's right across from the convention center.
Okay.
The rates
making a
weren't
note.
crazy and they had availability. So go get that if you are going. You can always cancel up
That's
until
true.
like the week of. Yeah.
Okay,
I
cool.
know it's like far out, but man, it's no
Yeah.
fun to Uber every time you want to go back and forth.
That's so true. Well, thanks again. I know a bunch of people had to drop, but this was super fun. Everyone was a good sport. And who do we have next? I think our next call might be Chikora Connor. And we're going to be adding a few more here and there. So if anyone wants to volunteer for any, let me know. But thanks. I was looking forward to this one. So thank you so much, Brian and the team. And I will talk to you guys later.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thanks, and bye all.
Thank you all.